Hi there, I'm Donna Wolfe from Naztazia.com. Today I wanted to give a recap of my patterns and videos for this past year. We started the year with this cute crochet hook holder made from an icing container. It was cold here in Pennsylvania, so this warm winter hat was important. Then we moved on to this cute cupcake cushion, as well as showed how to make this colorful plaid gingham design with single crochet stitches. I wanted to show an older technique called locker hooking too. This technique uses a tool that has a crochet hook on one end and a sewing needle on the other. After that, I moved on to more stitch patterns like the textured wave stitch and then the brick stitch. Then I showed another vintage technique called punch needle. Spring was around the corner, so I made some pretty carnations and sunflowers too. The smock stitch is a nice textured stitch pattern, as is the 3D rosebud pattern. This design looks nice on an entire crocheted piece, as well as in just small areas like maybe the edging of a blanket. Then the shell scales and another flower pattern, followed by the mitered square pads for the kitchen. My next video shows what you can do with all of those crocheted flowers you are making, followed by an overview and tutorial of mosaic crochet, which is a neat technique that uses various stitch patterns to create some intricate color work designs in your pieces. In the video, I show how to read mosaic crochet charts, which can help with reading other mosaic patterns out there. Then after that, I moved on to some more stitch patterns like the bead stitch, as well as this 3D heart pattern, which can be used fully or sparingly in your work. And then one of my favorites is this diamond granny stitch, which is a colorful take on the traditional granny stitch pattern. Next up is the plaid dishcloth, followed by a pretty shell stitch pattern. I'm a big fan of shell stitches, and this one is easy to make, and you can use lots of nice colors in your work with this. I get a lot of requests to do stitch patterns like this, as well as stitches using the Tunisian crochet technique. Then I did a back to basic video for granny squares, followed by a rose flower and leaf bouquet in some pretty colors. Then I showed how to crochet an edging on a fleece blanket. Next up, I showed how to use a vintage Viking tool called a Lucet. And then I went back to Tunisian crochet for this bamboo stitch pattern. For the next video, I showed some of my favorite crochet tools that help me in my day-to-day work. I like making my own crochet handles on aluminum hooks, plus I like certain scissors to fasten off yarn. And I must admit, these yarn rings are useful when working with very scratchy yarn. Autumn was around the corner, so this pumpkin pattern came about, and then I had a lot of requests to show the corner-to-corner stitch pattern, as well as other ways to attach an edging onto a blanket. As the weather got colder, I made some hats, plus more stitches like this houndstooth design, and the ribbon stitch, which is nice for using up extra scrap yarn. 3D stitches like this are some of my favorite ones to work with, and one can always use some more warm hats for the winter. This particular one is good for beginners because it's just single crochet stitches placed in different parts of the previous stitch. To end the year, the mosaic moss stitch added some nice color to the videos. And these kitchen towels always go over well at craft fairs as well as for gift giving. The adjustable top part with the button allows you to place these towels in an easy to access place in your kitchen or bath. And that's my recap of patterns and videos for this past year.